This week, former Education Minister Luc Ferry mentioned an ex-cabinet minister who'd allegedly had an orgy with young boys in Morocco. Although he named no names, Ferry himself will now be questioned over his comments. Let's delve a little further into all this. We can get more from our correspondent Lisa Westerhoff, who's in Morocco. How is this being received where you are, first of all?
Well, actually, a few newspapers have started to talk about the story this morning, but actually the reaction has been far stronger on the side of the civil society here. Many people have been terribly shocked by the fact that Luc Ferry could make this type of allegations in public on the TV. So two Moroccan NGOs have immediately decided to file a complaint against X, so that an investigation shall be opened. The director of one of these organizations said that such declarations can't have to provoke the fact that you open a file. On the side of the government, there has been absolutely no official reaction this morning, a complete silence here on the side of the government.
And is there a big problem with this kind of behaviour in Morocco?
Well, pedophilia, yes, has indeed become more and more a problem over the past years. The crime has started probably to develop side with the tourism that has developed in the country. So there has been more and more complaints that have been filed, but it's a big taboo here, and these two organizations are actually fighting against this taboo because many people don't dare to talk about the problem, and the condemnations in this kind of complaints are often very, very low. People are condemned for 2 years of prison. So these two organizations are really fighting against this taboo, and that's why they're saying that they're really making a point in opening or filing a complaint in this case, because they are saying we have to protect our Moroccan children. We don't want our country to become Thailand, to be a pedophile destination, a touristic destination for pedophiles.
Okay, Lisa Westerhoff, thank you very much indeed giving us reaction there from Morocco. Well, let's get more French reaction to this story. Elena Cassas has been looking at the French press for us this Thursday and just explain to us how they've been covering this story.
Hi, Hannah. Well, Libération was the paper who really splashed on this morning. If you have a look at their front page, they've got Luc Ferry on it and the title says Dirty Ferry. Now, it's kind of a French way to treat this scandal. If something like this happened in England or in the States, the papers would all be crawling around to find out who Ferry was talking about, and it would probably be the suspected paedophile on the front page. But here in France, it's Ferry, the accuser, and Libération accuses him of rooting around in the gutter, and they say it's unprofessional of him to make unsubstantiated allegations about other former ministers. They say if he's got the evidence that he says he has incriminating this anonymous person, then he should have gone to the police instead of talking about it on a public talk show.
But this is also making headlines elsewhere, not just here in France as well.
Yes, The Guardian has written a piece which points up the culture clash between the British and American, and on the other hand, the French media around this type of story. They say that if the French media was more interested in rooting around in the gutter, or at least, investigating politicians' private lives, then these allegations might well have been in the public eye a long time ago. And they even say you could go so far as to say that French journalists have been allowing a possible paedophile to go around and maybe even abuse more children when they knew that these kind of allegations were hanging over his head, because they don't publish about it, both for cultural and for legal reasons. I should say that what the British tabloids have written about this story we can't show you, because they've named a possible person that Ferry might be talking about in their headlines, and of course here in France we can't do that.
But it's interesting though that interest in French politicians has now peaked after the Dominique Strauss-Kahn case.
Yes, and there's plenty of articles in the French press who are quite keen to defend the traditional French position and say this is not a good thing. There's a piece on the website Atlantico today where they've interviewed a lawyer called Jean-Luc Romero. He says Ferry should have kept quiet. He says the French don't want to hear about that kind of thing. They're not like tabloid-reading Anglo-Saxons. They're not interested in politicians' private lives. He says this kind of gutter journalism, which is what he calls the media storm around Ferry's allegations, he says it creates a deleterious atmosphere for democracy, and we all need to realise that elected politicians aren't saints and we shouldn't expect them to behave as ones. So he's not the only one in the French papers today defending that kind of French approach where the news stops at the bedroom door.
Okay, Elena Cassas, thank you very much indeed.